Might as well record this little. Actually, maybe there was no point in hitting this. I'm really just adjusting my ring light right now. I don't know. Lighting's fine, I guess. Now this is gonna be a little bit different than the way I usually do my videos because I don't know. Usually I talk about what's happened recently, and I realized in the last video I didn't really talk about too much about what's happened recently. I think that's because I've just been working to get my shit and my thoughts together. But today, right now, what I want to talk about is love, which might be corny. I really don't know. What spurred this on, you might ask? Well, I woke up this morning at, when did I wake up? Like 20 minutes before my alarm, before I went off to work. And the reason for that is because I dreamed of an old crush from like 3 years ago. Wow. Does that even count? The last year? I guess, actually not even that long. I just haven't seen her in a while. And it was a happy scene. It was like some people from my current friend group and then a scene with my crush, and I won't go into details. But after that scene, I was just like, I had post dream clarity, one could say. One could describe it that way, okay? And it really made me think about the shit that I was doing that was distracting myself from appreciating the present, I guess. Because if you haven't seen my other videos, I have been on the dating apps on and off, kind of trying to talk to girls. Went on a few dates over the past few years. Things didn't work out, and it's been strange. There's a lot of thinking that went on in the background as to why I opted for the dating apps, why I didn't try to meet people in person. I don't know. But that kind of made me I deleted all the dating apps today, and there was one girl I was talking to. Now I'm not talking to her anymore, and now I don't know. Today I've just been kind of thinking like, what is love? And I don't know. I've been wanting to get into this kind of discussion, or at least like talk about a specific topic, and then I don't know. This is a start, okay? This is not 3 minutes. I'm already whatever. I want to talk about love because I feel like, not that I have it completely figured out. I don't have the most experience in relationships. I have a lot of experience fumbling women. I do. But at least I just want to, I don't know, have an open discussion. I just want to share my thoughts, share my beliefs from my perspective. And I don't know, maybe encourage people to think about what they think love is, and I don't know, think about things from a different perspective, because I believe different perspectives are key to growth, understanding each other, bridging gaps between, I don't know, different groups. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, I was really thinking about this in the shower, and like, I don't know, the few hours I've been here, back in my apartment. But I don't know, I think we have to clearly define an idea, so we all have an idea. Like, we all know what we're talking about, because people, like I said in the last video, like, people fill in gaps when people talk about ideas. And so I just want to define what love is. In my opinion, I think love is a selfless choice. And to elaborate on that, I think, obviously, the feelings you have for other people are very important. You're not just going to do something for people you don't care about. Although if you, I don't know, depends on what your idea of love is, right? But at its core, maybe my idealized version of love is a selfless and persistent ability to do these things for yourself or other people that you care about, to demonstrate this idea that you love this person. And I think that kind of breaks up into love when it comes to loving yourself, like self-love, self-care, relationships that you have with people. When you're in a relationship with someone, when you're dating, when whatever, you know. And then maybe, I don't know, God, love for your family, your relatives, and then maybe even people, maybe your love for strangers, maybe your love for your fellow person or humanity. And I think those are important distinctions to make, because I think all of these things, love shows up in a lot of different ways. And I think understanding what your idea of love is in each and every aspect is very important. For example, let's take self-love, for example. I think self-love is something that is difficult for a lot of people. I think taking my definition of love, where it's a selfless, persistent choice to show that you care for yourself in the context of self-love, I think it has to be something that's obviously overall good for you, separating from what feels good versus what actually is beneficial for your future. And of course, that's defined by values, society, culture, whatever you're trying to conform to. Like it varies. For myself, growing up, I did not have much self-love. I think I'm gonna put some hand sanitizer on because I don't know, I want to be clean. I don't know, this is self-love. Everything you do to care for yourself is self-love. But like, I hated myself growing up. I was very insecure. I had a shit ton of self-hatred and self-shame. And I regretted a lot of decisions, and it made me very scared as a person to do a lot of things, to make mistakes, to fall back into this trap of I fucked up, people hate me, this shit sucks, I'm alone, I'm isolated, like. And I didn't have this exact idea of self-love when I first started trying to change, but I think even the very first step of recognizing that you don't want to stay the same, because I didn't want to be that person who was stuck in a cycle and someone who was just in the same spot, because I don't know, I wanted more for myself. And I think that level of awareness, that realization that I don't like where I am, I want to change, I want to be different, that was the very first step at even trying to love myself and even trying to apply the idea of self-love. And it was a long journey, right? Like, there are a lot of small ways I practiced self-love and a lot of ways I didn't, a lot of ways that actually hurt me more than it helped. But I think I was driven by the idea I wanted to have friends. I wanted to be good at video games. I wanted to be attractive to other people. I wanted to work towards having a girlfriend, to having my parents actually say positive things about me. And I think there's a lot there, right? That these are things that I wanted. And I think that's an important essence to self-love specifically. It's difficult to want to change if there's nothing that you don't really care about. I was driven by the pressure of my family in high school to have good grades, to be a good student. And I was driven by my social pressure because in high school, growing up, I just played video games. And for me, it was important to me to prove my worth, while thinking about all the other ways I was lacking in life. At least the one thing that I enjoyed doing, I loved playing video games, I wasn't just complete dog shit at that also when there were people who were more cracked than me. And maybe that is that corny, wanting to be good at video games. Who knows? But that was important to me. And at least I can admit that, right? Like, that's the first step, being completely fucking honest with yourself. I wanted to be good at this thing. I wanted to be, like I said, attractive people. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to not be so weak. And so I tried to get good at video games. I tried to figure out how to study, try to dedicate myself to my studies, try to work out, do calisthenics. I tried the One Punch Man challenge in high school. And all these little things were things I was trying to do to reach these goals because I had them for myself. And like, if you don't have those kinds of goals, if you've forgotten how to dream, then it's difficult. Because I think once upon a time, all of us, I'm itching my leg because my leg is itchy. Once upon a time, we all had the ability to imagine a future for ourselves. We had a dream job. We had things we had fun doing, things we wanted to get good at. And then there was a reality hit. We actually suck ass, like losing sucks, or we're just not great at it and people would put us down or like whatever. I think remembering how to tap into who you were in the past growing up, things that you like to do, but now you don't, maybe evaluate why that is or figure out why you even stopped doing it. And I would argue that revisiting your past interests or figuring out what you like to do, that's a huge thing, I think. What your goals are, what makes you happy in life, and figuring out how to work towards that is self-love. And I'm trying to explain this thoroughly because I think there are a lot of positive affirmations that are spit out on social media. Just say like, oh, be happy, or like, work hard for your dreams, like blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just like, okay, sure. That's a very, I don't know, normal social thing to believe in. But you have to define that clearly for yourself and figure out a path for you to find your own way of being happy. Because maybe, like I said, maybe you don't even have a dream. And honestly, if like you don't, then that's fine too. But my goal was at least to be happy with myself. And I chose day after day to figure out how to be happy with myself. And so one thing, in order to achieve that, was just changing everything that I did. I think that and accountability. Understanding that, God, you have more power to control things in your life than you realize. And obviously that's separate from your socioeconomic set. Like, things are glaringly obvious. Please, like, critical thinking, don't like think. Like, I'm talking about your reactions to things. I'm talking about you stopping yourself from doing something you want to do. Like, if you want to go to the gym, but you don't, like, something's pulling you away from it, but you know it's what you, like, I don't know how to explain it. For example, when I got into my school, I tried to work hard and be a good student. I wanted to study. I wanted to have good grades. I wanted to succeed in my classes. But physically, I didn't know how to study. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was putting hours in. I'm just like, what the hell's happening? It didn't feel rewarding. It didn't feel good. And that's when I started trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong? Is there a different way to study? Is there, like, do I need to change my method or something? And now I'm kind of sniffling because I have my fans on. God. But point is, there's a method to the madness. If there's something you know you want to do, you know you want to go to the gym, but life just keeps pulling you away from it, sit down, get your brain off autopilot and figure out, okay, what's actually stopping me from going to the gym? Is it my bad sleep? Am I just like staying up playing video games? Is Is my diet terrible? Do I need to figure out how to make it fun? Do I need to figure out how to, like, there are a lot of questions people can ask themselves to understand, how do I actually operate on a day-to-day basis? And I don't think people reflect enough on things in general. And I think if people were to ask these questions to themselves, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? Do you want to just be happy? Like, that's totally acceptable. And I think maybe I'm in a very privileged position because I had my family supporting me, even with the, like, I don't know, like, whatever conflict we've had in the past, and like gone to a good school, and I have like a job secured, and like, so it's very easy for me to say all this. But I think it's possible to make change and achieve something for yourself. Like, because for me, it took years. Like, I worked hard for this. Like, middle school me, high school me, studied. I took the SAT 4 times. I studied 2 weeks straight to get my score, which is not even, it's okay, it's a good score. I'm not gonna like try to humble brag or like put myself down, like make yourself whatever. It's a good score. But like, all of these things, my mentality, my growth mindsets, my work ethic, all these things are things I put effort into, and that allowed me to succeed at tech, meet new people, push myself outside my comfort zone, put myself into the position that I am now, and be in a position where I can do work, where I have a job and I have a roof over my head and think like confidence and all these things. It took over 4 years. And I think, I don't know, I really just have to emphasize, it's not gonna be something that you can fix about yourself. If you've gone through a lot of shit, if you're insecure as hell, if you're just going through it, like, I don't know. There are baseline things I think everyone can do to take care of themselves, to work, to improve themselves. Like, physical activity is important, going outside is important, socializing is important. These are all like baseline minimum requirements, in my opinion, to just be healthy, to have a healthy mind, like going out for a walk, hanging out with your friends, and then, I don't know, figuring out how you can do these things to teach yourself self-love. Like, these are the things that are, realistically, in my opinion, like, good for you. Like, humans are social creatures. You can't just isolate yourself and say that's like good for you, unless there are shitty people in your life. Then like, whatever. But like, I'm not talking about edge cases. Physical activity is good for you. It's healthy. Moving your body, using your body, relieving stress physically, releasing energy physically. Like, I hated myself for so long. I hated myself I was home in my home state for a month, and I could barely do any physical exercise. I didn't have the discipline in place. My knee was injured. I couldn't just move. I didn't have a gym membership, and it sucked. And in high school, like, I was not forced into cross country, but I joined it because someone invited me to. And I think, like, from there, I had a social aspect, I had a physical aspect, and all of that took the negative energy I had and put it towards something that told me I can do something that's difficult. I think physical activity is the first step towards taking all this negative self-talk, being like, damn, I did something fucking difficult, and I did something hard, and doing that all the time, every day, is just building proof that you're capable of difficult things. And I think that's why physical activity is so important, both just like health-wise and like mentally. It's also like, I don't know, self-care is self-love. Doing little things to show you that you care about yourself. It's a long, I don't know, it's 10 minutes. This kind of makes, I don't even know if this makes sense, right? I'm just yapping. But self-love is the practice of doing the things that you know are best for you. That's making a healthy dish, whether that's making your bed, cleaning your room, doing what you value because you have to teach yourself how to care for yourself. because that's what's important. Honestly, that's enough yapping about self-love. I don't know. I had a structure for this. Anyways, love when it comes to relationships with people. Topic 2. I think here I'm gonna try to talk about maybe like not even just like in a relationship, but also like friends and people you meet. I'm gonna talk from my experience, right? Like when I was more insecure and I had more shit to work through, whenever I started liking someone when I just started liking people, or I guess wanting to connect with them even as well as just like friends, I would find myself being disappointed when they didn't reach out to me the same way I would reach out to them. Because as someone who was more insecure and more desiring social validation, I wanted to be met in these ways. I wanted to have these friends fill this void it had inside of me. And when my expectations weren't met, I just had to face myself in the mirror and be like, this fucking sucks. I hate it here. And honestly, I wasn't even looking in the mirror. I just felt it staring, and I just couldn't look it in the face. I couldn't look myself in the face. I just went deeper into like self-pity, my insecurities, just like, damn, this fucking sucks. And God, I think those moments are important to reflect on and sit with, because when you don't have a healthy idea of what love with other people looks like, whether that's because of a lack of social experience or your own trauma / insecurities and your fear of being hurt again, it's important to understand that it's important to understand on a deep level. Like, this is obvious, but like, I didn't think this. I didn't have anyone tell this to me. Everyone's different, and I just had the deluded belief that I would meet people who would be able to meet me the way I needed them to. And also, maybe I'm lucky that I met people who don't do that, because I think being in an environment where all your needs are met, you don't have to do any work on yourself. You can just be in the same exact position forever and not have to deal with the potential of people not meeting you where your validation is, where your bar is for happiness. The second you're met with any disappointment, just like, fuck, I'm gonna go back. But I think being able to sit with that repeatedly and working to understand why you're feeling this way, what exactly are you missing? What do you want from this? What are you not being given? That's something that's essentially just a projection of your fears. I think that's important when it comes to relationships, because, well, I guess at least for me, speaking from my own experience again, the girls that I've liked, I've wanted them to do things so badly, and they don't do them. And I'm thinking from the perspective of someone who was much more anxious attachment style. I am somewhat more avoidant now, but in the eyes of someone who's anxious attachment style, if you don't know what that is, Google it. I don't know. I wanted to connect with people. I wanted to be with this person. I wanted to have these conversations. I had all these ideas in my head, these expectations, and every single time they weren't met, it sucked. But I couldn't stop caring about them, because the person I was, the way I felt when I was with this person, every time just trumped the insecurity, whatever I was facing. And every time after things ended, after I just sit with myself being alone, because it's like before you like this person, you were alone. And maybe this is literally just something I'm like a video I'm making for an old version of me. I don't know. It's important to understand, or I guess maybe just like think about why all these things are bothering you. That's like the core theme. Reflect and be introspective, because all these things I'm being bothered by, I'd like to steer away from the idea that when your needs aren't met, you have to just find someone who meets you at where you're at. I think the more cohesive and nuanced idea is that where you are now, if you find someone who meets your needs, that's great, that's fantastic. I think you should maintain an awareness of what actually is a healthy level of, I guess, where you should be. Because if I settled for the idea of only finding someone who was nearly as anxiously attached as I was, and we were just hanging all the time, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Looking back, would have been a recipe for disaster. Because, God, it's like, I'm gonna stop right now. I'm just like, I really am wondering who the fuck is still listening to me, because I don't even know if this is entertaining or actually interesting to think about, or like if I'm even making sense or being remotely entertaining in any way. Maybe you're just listening to me fall asleep, like what to fall asleep, whatever. Anyways, I just had to get that out there because I'm thinking about it. But where was I? God. I think it's like, if I had settled for that idea, I would have just cut my potential off. And I think, again, this kind of ties back to who you want to be and where your goals are in life. If you're happy being where you're at, then that's okay. You don't have to grow. You don't have to do all that. You don't have to do all this extra shit. On sound, what you're listening to this video for. Or maybe you're just curious. I don't know. Sorry. I take that back. But for me, I knew I wasn't happy with where I was. I was so caught up in this other person. I obsessed over them. I just couldn't control myself. And it wasn't good for me. And I had the awareness that it wasn't good for me. And it's like a lot of this, like self-love, loving other people, it comes back to it's all facing who you are. You can't run from it. If you run from it, run from it. If you run from it, it's gonna come back. It's gonna circle back every single fucking time. You're gonna be stuck in the cycle. You're gonna be this person. Let's take me for example. This person who's anxiously attached and finds this specific kind of person attractive doesn't grow whatsoever. And I keep meeting these people I find attractive, and they are bad for me. And I do zero reflection on why I'm attracted to these people. Zero reflection on, I don't even know how to explain it. Zero reflection on who I am, what's important to me, is this good for me? Understanding, why am I not being met? Why do I want these needs to be met? If I'm not asking myself those questions, I'm just throwing myself into the spin cycle repeatedly. And then I'm like, why is this happening to me? I think it's so very important that people, after your mistakes, after your perceived failures, after things that bothered you, sit and think, about why it bothers you. Nowadays, a lot of people are coping, whether that be through, I don't fucking know, porn, video games, brain rot, alcohol, weed, I don't know, all these vices. And seriously, it's the goddamn phone. But I think the best thing anyone can do to start loving themselves is to build discipline, to learn to put these things down, at least balance them, and do things that care for you. Like, for example, actually, maybe this isn't the greatest example, but I'm recording this video right now. It's 9:30 p.m. It's been half an hour. I almost didn't make this video because I was like, I need to study. I have an exam I'm preparing for because it's a part of my job. It's gonna make me more qualified in my role if I pass and get the certification. And that's important, right? But this video, talking about this stuff, even if it's not entertaining, even if it's not cool, even if people don't care about it, even if people don't watch it all the way through, this is important to me. And I know if I skip out on making this video, I'm gonna regret it. And it's just listening to that voice of, if you don't do this thing, you're gonna regret it. I don't know. Honestly, a lot of it, I think, a lot of learning how to love yourself is listening to those regrets. Think about, what could I have done in the future? What can I do in the future to avoid making this same mistake? And I think deep down we all know what our regrets are. And I think the problem is people wallowing in that regret as opposed to figuring out how they can avoid making that mistake in the future. Like, God, this girl that I liked I almost had a fucking I almost went into remission, or I don't know is that a bad word to use? Sorry, I don't know if that's bad. Almost relapsed. God, that's also bad, sorry. That sounds like she was a drug or something. But I started thinking about this girl again. And, God, would I bring this up? I'm actually fucking forgetting. God, what was I saying? What was I talking about? I just tripped myself up like 3 times. But no, like, I just what was I even talking? I don't even remember. God, I cooked myself. But okay, anyways. God. I'm trying to remember what I was saying. But because I was talking about making this video. Doing something. Oh, I remember now. This girl that I liked, I wanted to tell her that I liked her, but my friend told me it was a bad idea. I was like, I was wondering, like, am I gonna ruin the friendship? Is this gonna fuck things up? Blah, blah, whatever. I wish I had done it. Because at the end of the fucking day, let's say you tell this girl that you like her, or a guy if you're a girl, or a guy if you're gay, or a girl if you're gay. You tell this person that you like them. What's the worst thing that could happen? They can make fun of you. It's not no. They can talk shit. They can go behind your back and gossip about you. They can do that. Let's be realistic. That is possible. Hopefully you know how to choose a better person to like than that, but it's possible, right? But I think at the end of the day, what the most important thing is, you chose to do something that was difficult to get an answer that you want, as opposed to being scared and taking the comfortable route and thinking about the what if, the potential. What if I did this? What would be on the other side of that? And I think that is the scariest thing to think about. At least for me, I think I learned a very good lesson that I'm still trying to learn right now. But again, it's hard. It's being okay with feeling like shit for a little bit and sitting with the situation and thinking, damn, I fucked up. And I want to emphasize the idea that fuck ups are okay. Making mistakes are okay. We need to really normalize that. People are scared to try. People are scared to embarrass themselves. Social media is like, oh, all these people are so cool. All these people they do whatever. They have all these cool friends. I think my mouse is low. Never mind. Okay, never mind. I don't know why. Sorry. But like, God, I don't know. Anyways, topic change, kind of. I pivoted. I wanted to talk about, when it came to loving in a relationship, love languages. This might go on for a while. I want to talk about the ways we feel like we're loved and the ways we give love to other people. As for how we give love, I wanted to say something else, but let's just talk on that. How we give love to other people. We give love to people in the ways that we would want to be loved, because that's how we know how to love, right? If you grew up and you're accustomed to hugs, family time, I don't know, just hanging out and doing shit, that's how you're gonna give love to the people that you care about. Physical touch, quality time, those love languages. For me, we didn't have any sort of physical touch, any sort of, I don't know, my mom cut me fruit. It was a lot of hard love, a lot of real shit a lot of the time. And for a long time, I didn't know how I gave love. But then I realized the love that I gave out was the love that I needed. I had a lot of gamer friends, a lot of people who I would reach out to, ask to play games with. And in a way, it was validating my needs because I wanted to reach out to people because I wanted to play with them because, because having them play games with me would make me happy. And at the same time, I thought that would make them happy. But now, I've kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm being hypocritical. Maybe I don't have a really great definition of this, honestly. Because as it stands right now, I don't even know how I love other people, honestly. I know how to take care of myself. I know what I'm interested in. I kind of don't know God. How do I care for my friends? I don't even... Maybe I gotta reflect on this a little bit more also, honestly. Point being, we know how we give love. We know how we feel love. And I think we make the false assumption that all these other people know how we receive love also. I mean, that's what I was getting a bit ago before. But like, we have to be open to learning how to love other people. That's where the selfless part comes in. Because loving in the way that we know how to love and prioritizing that as the most important thing is silly. Because if you're in a relationship with someone and you actually love this person, you care about them, you want to be with them for the rest of your life, why would you not go out of your way to learn how to love them? Why would you not want to give them the level of happiness that understanding their love languages would give them. And that comes in part with, do you actually connect with this person? Do you really love them? Do you really want to be with them for the rest of your life? Or is it just something you're doing just to be in a relationship? I think if you really connect with this person and love them, then that choice comes easy. Actually, learning it might be difficult, but the choice to learn how they love and making that choice every day is easy. And I think that's the biggest thing that we need to learn in general. Again, not that I have that much relationship experience. Maybe I'm dead fucking wrong. Maybe this is all theoretical bullshit. But in my opinion, I think that that is what love should look like. Learning to read their wants and desires and supporting them and meeting them there. Both ways, for both parties. Like, now I'm thinking about a lot of gender. There's so much gender war bullshit on Twitter and like everywhere, and it's annoying as fuck. Because that's a separate point. That's whatever. Sorry, I shouldn't bring that up. But anyways, that's kind of what I wanted to say there. Honestly, I think a lot of people make that mistake. They love selfishly, not selflessly. And in a way, love has both elements. Obviously, you love this person. You made that choice to love that person. You hope that they're going to love you back. But only loving them and sticking, like, it's fine if you don't know how to. But the point is that you're trying. Trying is the most, I think, attractive thing someone can do. I think someone who is clearly putting in the effort, and that's not universal. People are not going to agree with that. We all grew up differently. I had to find the right phrasing there. People aren't going to agree with this. What I'm saying is not law. Everyone has their own perceived reality. But I think what's important is that you come up with your own definition, understand who you are, and try to find people who meet you at that level. And I think the issue, kind of going back to this gender war bullshit, is that everyone assumes so much shit about everybody else. Like, it's fine to have these conceptions of men, of women. We all have had our own experiences and have our own beliefs and have our own ways to cope. But then projecting that out onto other people who you don't know is actually insane, in my opinion. And of course, this is not to say that the women saying, I hate men or kill all men, they're not exactly wrong, right? Because for women, it's a matter of safety. A man doesn't have to be worried about a woman who's like, oh, I hate men. You really don't have to be concerned. But a woman, hearing a man say, I hate all women, that's genuinely dangerous. Women have had good reasons to come up with these kinds of statements. And that's my opinion. If you disagree, feel free to. But anyways, what was I saying? I don't know. I'm kind of yapping. This video isn't even exactly about love. It's just me trying to put my own thoughts out there and whatever, just yap. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people who have been in a relationship have different, like, in my eyes, that's the way I imagine things should be. Is that wrong? I don't know. I'm not forcing anyone to conform to that, right? These are just my ideas I'm voicing. I think this is my definition. I'm gonna try my damn best to find someone who appreciates that definition. I think that's what's important, right? Like, I'm not, well, I mean, at the same time, I kind of am telling people that I think this is my opinion on what love should look like. I think everyone should follow it. I think there are elements to everyone's ideas that we can pull from, take note of, and I don't know. At the end of the day, we should be open to exploring new perspectives and thinking, do I agree with this? Do I not? Do I not agree with this? If you do agree with it, take some element into your own perspective, and if not, then just fuck it, right? But I think the danger lies in thinking you're completely right and everyone's wrong, and then creating a negative discourse and like, well, whatever. Oh God, I hate. Oh, ow, why'd I do that? Ow, I got like a ooh, that hurt. Ooh, that hurt. What the fuck was that? Oh, I stretched wrong. Oh God, how? What the fuck? That's weird. That's really weird. But I think, I don't know. I'm not even on topic anymore. I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm thinking about if I should talk about Twitter. It is my YouTube video. It doesn't really matter, but God. I hate people who, that's a strong word. I dislike folks who jump to insults, who immediately set their viewpoints as correct with no room for open discussion. Like, I might say something that I believe firmly in, and jumping in and saying, you're fucking stupid, you're wrong, as opposed to having an open discussion and dissecting why exactly I'm incorrect, or providing reasonable points with a level-headed discussion. I think the former just speaks to things people need to work through. I think realistically, shoot me if I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong. People should not be enraged by things on the internet. People should learn how to be respectful to people on the internet. People should, it's another space. If you're not going to be that rude to someone in person. If I'm talking to you in person, you're going to be really talking like that? No. So why is the internet pushing you in that direction? And if you are talking like that in person, maybe you should reflect on why, because that's kind of not cool, man. I don't know. My opinion. Anyways. God, I don't know. I don't even know if this video made any sense. It's 48 minutes. I'm kind of surprised. I just yapped. I don't even know what I said in that 48 minutes. Kind of impressive, honestly. But anyways. Yeah, I told myself I was going to study after this video. I should, because that's self-love. That's what's important to me. God, I don't even know. I hope you learned something. I hope this gave you some insight, or this was thought-provoking, or you enjoyed listening to me and you fell asleep to my voice. I don't know. Like, my friends tell me they watch me to fall asleep, or they put me in the background. I'm a fucking podcast, I guess. Whether you disagree, whether you're just listening, at least I hope the person I try to be, the person I want to be, is someone who is kind to everyone, who has grace for everyone, even if I'm being disrespected, even if I'm perceiving disrespect. I hope, no matter what, you're having a good day. I hope that you are, if you're going through shit, I hope you get through it. I believe that you're capable of making change for yourself, that you're capable of achieving greater things. That's not the positive affirmation bullshit. That's me telling you, you can change your life. You just have to work for it. take those steps to be better. I don't know. And I was gonna end it there, but now I just remembered something I wanted to talk about. It'll be really quick. Going to the self-love thing, I think if you can't radically work for yourself, if you don't have those goals that I mentioned before, I think what you need is drastic change. When I came to my school, I switched states, moved all the way to the south, and I was just on my own. And I was thrown into the deep end of really smart people who are making friends, people who are achieving all these things that I can't see. And I think being faced with all those things, the fact that people are doing these things that I want to do, but I'm not seeing that, but I'm not able to do that, putting that right up in my face was super important. And I think what that means is you need to be putting yourself consistently in an environment where you are either consuming content that, like if you're brain rotting, if you're doom scrolling, change the algorithm to neutral shit you actually care about. I don't even know how to, like, gym bro content. I don't know. Like, I'm seeing some my experiences, right? I literally was able to sit in college and just see all these people doing this shit. And I'm like, why the fuck am I not capable of that? Putting yourself in that position, surrounding yourself with people who have what you want, that is, I think, something that's really important. And obviously you can't just fucking up and move somewhere, but there's at least something there that you can replicate. And that's all I want to say. So thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all. Hopefully that's entertaining. Hopefully you don't hate me after this. Hopefully I'm not just some annoying random yapper. But thanks y'all. Peace. Have a good one.